Hi, this is Hello Summer Tea again, this time bringing a drawing of my two actual real-life betta fish. Yay! Something different than just the normal imagined environments and creatures. Well, sort of. These guys are weird little water dragon things now. More lizard-like than dragon, but whatever. The original goal was dragon. It didn't end up being that. Kinda cute though, kinda like how it came out. As you can see from the little video that popped up just a second ago, Kalani thankfully is a very photogenic little fish who will just kind of sit there until you pester him. And by pestering, I mean just looking at him. He's so aggressive. He's probably the most aggressive fish I've ever had. And that's saying a lot. I've had other fish that have jumped over borders to try to get at other fish. Especially one named Jester Jax who would jump out of the water to try to get at you if you wanted to. Well, not more you, just the food. Which unfortunately Kalani has now picked up as well. And yes, weird name, at least I believe it's a weird name. I've never heard someone else call a pet Kalani, but whatever. When I first got him, I had lost my other betta, Shamrock, like maybe a few months earlier, and I've been wanting a new one. And I was originally thinking about buying like one of the really nice, maybe show quality fish, but realized I have no money for that. So pet store bettas it is. Though I do have a taste for the more expensive one. I don't know. It's 1 a.m, so I'm kind of losing my mind right now. But I don't remember if I said this or not. But Kalani is a blue crown tail, maybe comb tail. I have no idea anymore. So he was a little more expensive than the $5 ones. He was probably 10. But he was very worth it considering he's been pretty healthy so far. And I've had him for maybe a year now. Not a lot, but pretty much longer than a few other bettas like I've had earlier in my years. And aside from a few recent bouts with fin rot, he's been pretty good. And that's only when the two of them first moved into their new tanks, which is far bigger than the original ones they lived in, which was a 3-gallon, but they didn't live in that together with water. Kalani was a bit of an issue to design, at least in form-wise, because I had no idea how to represent the crown tail, or like the crown tail trait he has. So I ended up with this weird hair kind of texture-ish thing. It's hard to imagine what those like fins would look like in an area where there's no water to support them and only gravity to bring them down. And that was my solution. What Kalani is sitting on right now, and which doesn't get rendered very well, is a moss ball. Both of them on each side have their own little unique plants or things that they can go and swim around. For Kalani, it's a moss ball, a snail shell, and this kind of fern. Water fern. At least I think it's water fern. I have no idea what it is. Yeah. He likes to sit under the fern. And both of them have 2 different snail shells in their tanks and their sides, so every time they go in there and I can't find them, I freak out thinking one of them's escaped or my cat's gotten them. No. Like I said, I probably should have spent a little more time on the moss ball, but I didn't really know how to render it and I was getting tired. This surprisingly was done within like 30 minutes, at least Kalani's was. Beichimo, which is my next betta that we're going to do, took a little longer because he kind of threw me for a loop because I thought he was one color when really in fact he was not. It's 1 a.m, I'm tired, so at least I feel like I'm getting a little weird. I don't really have a lot more to say about these two because these are my babies and I love them to death. They are cute and funny and I just love watching them. Their tank is right next to my computer, so anytime I'm feeling down, I just look over and be like, yep, all's right in the world. My two fish are angry with each other as always. Yeah. They will patrol that border like it's not like their life depends on it. Well, I guess in their little fish brain it does. For little fish, they have very big personalities that they live up to. As for Kalani's name, which I don't believe I've gotten to, or the reason why he's named Kalani, was when I first got him, he kind of had this regal kind of look to him, and he still sort of does when he flares up and shows how, like, impressive he looks. Which, again, this video and the pictures do not show at all. He's a very impressive little fish in real life. Or maybe he's not. Maybe I'm just biased. But I wanted him to have this regal name, and I couldn't really find anything that really showed it. But I found the name Kalani, which I'm like, close enough. It's kind of cool. And I think it means something with the ocean, which his coloring kind of lends to. I don't know. At the point, I probably should have gone back to the water, which we're going to do in a minute, or we're starting to do now. I rendered it a little bit better in the next drawing we're doing, and probably should have taken the time to come back and fix this one, but I didn't. And here's Beichimo, my, what's it called? I guess he's a blue-white Super Delta elephant ear, and he's annoying because he does not stop. He's my little energy or Duracell bunny. As you can see from the video, he just doesn't stop, and it's hard to take a picture or just even look at him. Because whenever you go near the tank, he thinks he's getting food. He's a greedy little fish, and also a stupid little fish. Kalani's a little smarter than he is, but that's all just my own biased personality of knowing the two of them. While Kalani was sort of an impulse buy of me just wanting a new betta fish for a 3-gallon, Beichimo was a pure impulse buy. I've been thinking about getting a 10-gallon for a while before I got him, and just never had a real reason to get one until, like, I was at the pet store one day trying to buy some, probably food, more fish food, and I saw him, and I was like, he's a nice looking fish. Went home, couldn't stop thinking about this fish I saw at the pet store. I'm like, yep, I want a new fish. And I was trying to talk myself out of it. I'm like, I don't have a new tank, I just can't own him. Needless to say, I went out the next day and bought him. And I know myself, and I know, like, if I hadn't bought him then, I would have regretted it. Because he was pretty much, I just fell in love with him. And while he's a stupid fish, he's a funny fish to look at and just kind of watch him swim around all day. Because while Kalani is a grouchy old man, Beichimo is that one kid that's kind of running around on a sugar high. When I first was designing him, I kind of, for some reason, always thought he was just a pure white fish. Not pure white, but just a white and blue fish, like a light blue. And when I was really looking at him, when I was drawing this, I realized, like, he's a lot darker than I had originally thought, so it kind of threw me for a loop, and I was like, well, now I have to figure out how do I render him, and what colors do I use? Because, like I said, he doesn't sit still, so I can't get a good picture of him. And by then, like, the tank light was off, and I didn't want to disturb them any more than I would. So, I had to do what I had to do, and just kind of went with it. I think he turned out pretty nice in the end. What Kalani in this picture is seen, not Kalani, Beichimo is seen on this picture is a snail shell that they both have, like I said earlier. And Beichimo uses his snail shell a lot more than Kalani does. I'm sorry, it's 1 in the morning, I'm tired. Yeah. There's not much more to say now. All I'm doing now is fixing up the lights, or not the lights, the plants. Oh, like, whereas Kalani had the fern and the moss ball, Beichimo has two things of Anubis sitting in his tank, which he just kind of swims around. But he has a little more space in his side than Kalani does, because he moves around a lot more than the other one. And I like how I did the water a lot better in this drawing than the other one. Yeah. And all I'm doing now is just the shading, and I'm going to be doing the adjustments, or at least trying to. I realized afterwards, I'm like, nope, doesn't look good, delete. But either way, I'm going to sign off now and have a good night, day, whatever it is. I should sleep. Bye.